Yes, yes, fight fans, but in mind sports, my people, you are fully appreciated in this round, my guys, my people. Should we get right into it? So let's discuss the boxing that passed just this week gone, where we saw the return of Dmitry Bivol, the light heavyweight king. He was in his home country of Russia, looking spectacular, as if he was not coming from back surgery into his first fight. So he was looking great. He was looking great against his IBF mandatory Michael Eifert, who he dropped with a check left hook in at the first round. And I thought, yes, we are going to get a stoppage from Dmitry Bivol. But I was left disappointed that he let Eifert, who is, again, another very low caliber fighter, when comparing him to Dmitry Bivol, that is, that you would have expected to get the stoppage, you know. But Bivol, it's like he just likes to cruise, isn't he? He doesn't put that extra spite into his shots to get those stoppages, and I'm wondering why. I'm wondering why. It's all safety first, isn't it? Talking about stoppages, though, Dmitry Bivol, who hasn't had a stoppage since 2024 when he fought Malik Zinad in Saudi Arabia. He stopped Zinad in the 6th round via TKO. But prior to that, it was in 2018 when he stopped a guy by the name Sullivan Barrera, who he stopped in the 12th and final round, also via TKO, my guys, my people. So obviously Dmitry Bivol is not the knockout king, is it? It's not, obviously not a knockout king, because what I just read out to you guys there summed up 2 stoppages in 8 years. 2 stoppages in 8 years. Wow, my guys, my people. Now, with that said, right, what's his record now? Dmitry Bivol. What is Dmitry Bivol's record? 25 wins, 1 loss, 0 draws, 12 wins coming via KO. That 1 loss, of course, was to Artur Beterbiev, but he's 1-1 with Beterbiev on paper, isn't it? He is 1-1 with Beterbiev, so that's okay, right? That is okay. Malik Zinad, who of course, not Malik Zinad, what am I talking about? Michael Eifert, who took the loss, now at a record, really doesn't have that much experience pro-wise, really doesn't. Just 13 wins, 2 losses, 0 draws, and 5 coming via KO. Just 5, so not much to talk about on power either. And lacking pretty much everything else as well. When comparing him to Bivol, that is. If fighting somebody else, obviously he's quite effective. Someone of lower caliber, obviously, is quite effective, isn't it? But listen, Bivol, now 35 years old, right? He is nearing the very tail end of his career, and we are soon to lose another elite fighter to Father Time, right? To Father Time. So we need to really be seeing him in these high-level fights, these big fights, my guys, my people. Not with low-caliber fighters like, you know, Michael Eifert, who somehow, I don't know how, managed to climb up the rankings to find themselves in a title shot. And we had one similar 2 weeks ago with Hamza Shiraz against against what's the guy's name again? Against Burgic, against Alim Burgic, who he stopped in just 2 rounds, and I actually predicted that he would stop him in 3 rounds. So yeah, it was quite obvious looking at Burgic's resume, the poor quality that he was going to bring on the night. Well, same with Michael Eifert. Same with Michael Eifert. So I was quite disappointed that Dmitry Bivol actually couldn't stop him, my guys, my people. Michael Eifert, how did he even get to that mandatory position? I'm sure you are wondering, my guys, my people. Well, this is how it happened. In 2023, he defeated a guy that goes by the name Adriano Serrano. That was in 2022, actually, for the IBF Intercontinental title. So one of those bogus half belts, right? Quarter belts. And he defended it against a 40-year-old Jean Pascal, who he went the distance with. And then he defeated another very low caliber operator, Carlos Eduardo Jimenez, in August of 2024. And since he hasn't fought until Dimitri Bivol, my guys, my people. So he's been sitting on that mandatory status for well over a year. Well over a year, my guys, my people. So there it go. There it go, my guys. That is Michael Eifert all summed up. Now, with that said, what next for Dimitri Bivol, though? Like I said, elite fights, right? And David Benavidez for the, undisputed at light heavyweight would have been just perfect. It would have been just perfect. But yeah, some of you might want the Better Beef trilogy. I'm not looking forward to that because we have seen that movie twice already. We've seen how it played out. It's 1-1 on paper. It's okay. It is okay. And considering Better Beef is a lot older now, he's way out of his prime. You know, I don't want to see another Canelo Golovkin because that stunk out the place. Canelo Golovkin 3, I'm talking about actually, because that stunk out the place. All right. But David Benavidez fight, the WBO is a chink in or should I say spanners in the works in this, because they've blocked that David Benavidez fight and gone and ordered Callum Smith versus Bivol. Callum Smith, the WBO interim champion, and Bivol's direct mandatory. He was supposed to be fighting actually David Morrell, but Callum Smith can count his lucky stars because Zach Chelli came along and upset David Morrell. So yeah, why isn't Callum fighting Zach Chelli instead? He's lucky. He's lucky. I guess now he goes straight into a title shot with Dimitri Bivol if the WBO should have their way, because according to my understanding, I was thinking, well, we were led to believe that Team Bivol want that fight, that they want the David Benavidez fight. We even had his trainer saying that it is their top priority to shut David Benavidez up, that he's been talking a lot. Even promoter Eddie Hearn said that David Benavidez and Bivol is a huge fight and the fight to make. I'm in my doubts whether we get that fight right away. I'm in my huge doubt zone, my guys, on this one. Now, with that said, should we move on to other fights we had? Let's go to the women first. Of course, we had the legend, 37 years old, Amanda Serrano versus Sian Johnson. Very young, 28 years old. Amanda Serrano with a record now, 49 wins, four losses, 1 draw, and 32 coming via KO. Very high KO ratio for a woman in women's boxing. Right, and then Sian Johnson, because that's very rare in women's boxing. That is very rare. Sian Johnson with a record now, 17 wins, 3 losses, and 13 coming via KO. She took the hit and got stopped in 2 rounds in spectacular fashion. Serrano still knocking out people very late in her career. Very late in her career. Should she retire? People don't really make a fuss about the women and start talking about they should be retiring, but when it comes to the men, retire. But look, yeah, she's still winning though, isn't it? That's the great thing about her. So she successfully defended her WBA and WBO strap at super at featherweight. And what next for her? A unification against the WBC champion Tiara Brown would be good. I don't know whether that's a big enough fight because I would like to see her in big fights as well. Perhaps climb up to super featherweight and face the likes of Alicia Baumgardner, my guys, my people. I think that would be a great fight. Serrano, who is a 7th division champion, basically the Manny Pacquiao of women's boxing. Manny Pacquiao, though, 8th division in men's boxing, 8th division champion. Let's get that right. But Amanda Serrano has surpassed Manny Pacquiao in one way, though, in that she's been undisputed, whereas Manny Pacquiao has never been undisputed champion, my guys, my people. So legacy, therefore Amanda Serrano, legendary legacy, my guys, my people. Definitely for me, up for conversation as you know, best female fighter ever. She should be in that conversation. I know that Katie Taylor and Clarissa Shields both often occupy that space, and Amanda Serrano doesn't get thrown in there as often, but she's done great. Coming from her career, I believe it started in the flyweight divisions. In the flyweight divisions, my guys, my people, and she went up all the way to junior welterweight, where she faced Katie Taylor three times, and I think in at least one of those fights she was robbed. Yeah, she was robbed. Close fights though, close fights. Maybe I wouldn't call it a robbery, but she deserved the nod, my guys, my people. Yeah, so that is Amanda Serrano all done. The next fight, of course, we had in that same card. This wasn't the US, by the way. If you guys are not aware that these are American fighters. Serrano is American Puerto Rican, right? Or Puerto Rican American. Anyway, we had Holly Holmes on the card as well, in a title shot against the WBA lightweight champion, Stephanie Han, my guys, my people. Holly Holmes lost via majority decision. Her record now standing at 34 wins, 4 losses, 3 draws, and 9 coming via KO. Han uplifted to 13 wins, still undefeated, just 3 coming via KO, my guys, my people. Han 35 years old. All these fighters are closing in. Father time is closing in. Holly Holmes, though, 44 years old. We were talking about retirement, or should I say I was talking about retirement just early on. You know, so she needs to retire, man. She needs to retire. She's one of the greats in women's boxing. Definitely one of the greats, but she's more well known for what she did in the UFC, being the very first to stop the likes of Ronda Rousey, who was huge, and they were talking about she could beat up men. So Clarissa Shields was not the first to ever do that. Talking about she could beat up men, she was not the first. Anyway, Holly Holmes, who could match up with her? Because she is quite a name, Holly Holmes. Katie Taylor is looking for an opponent at Croke Park. Maybe they could pair her up with Holly. Maybe they could pair her up with Holly, my guys, my people. Now, with that said, should we move on? Adam Azim, we had at the Wembley Arena. He went up against Steve Clagget, and Azim stopped him in just 3 rounds, looking absolutely spectacular, making easy work of Clagget. That went the distance with Teofimo Lopez at a time when Teofimo Lopez was considered the junior welterweight king. and considered a knockout puncher, even though he never achieved a single knockout at junior welterweight. But he was considered the king. Yeah, he stopped. Actually, he fought Clagget, but 2 years ago now. 2 years ago now. So some time has gone. Azim, man, he really fought Clagget's fight in the first and the second round. I'll say in the first round especially. He fought his fight just sticking on the inside, where Clagget is bringing pressure and Azim is bringing pressure equally. So this fight was just in the middle of the ring, and Azim was beating him at his own game. Clagget though, no defense at all. He's just somebody that just, I don't know how to describe him. He's just like a zombie that just comes forward. No footwork. The jab is constant though with Clagget. The jab is definitely constant with him. But in the second round, when Azim decided that he was going to open up and show you know, something more than just the norm of just coming forward like a zombie, and that's when he showed the difference, the real difference. And he splattered Clagget with a hellacious uppercut. Didn't knock him out though. Clagget is very strong, very durable. It took Azim to put a real beating on him in the third round for the referee to jump in and stop the fight, because Clagget wasn't going to give in. He definitely wasn't going to give in. He looked like he was going to get real injured though. Seriously, Azim is a real threat. And after the fight, we heard him, didn't we? He called out to his promoter saying that he wants a title shot, and that is what they're looking to get for him, the IBF title, my guys, my people. But there are other people in front of him. We have Lindolfo, Delgado. It is for the IBF vacant title, by the way, that Hitchins left behind. But the one closest in position at number one to fight for that vacant title is can't pronounce his first name, Delgado, right? Against Oscar Duarte, who is at number 2. But according to my understanding, Duarte has turned down the opportunity to face Delgado, who is a huge puncher, by the way. I wonder whether that is the reason why. Duarte, who I have to say didn't look great against Angel Fierro. I thought he actually lost that fight. So that could maybe be a reason why he's avoiding Delgado, right? He wasn't willing to avoid Hitchins though. He wasn't going to avoid Hitchins though. It was, on the other hand, Hitchins who actually pulled out the fight, right? So yeah, you accept Hitchins, but you don't accept Delgado. That must say something about Delgado. Anyway, the excuse that Oscar Duarte and his team are giving as to why they don't want this title shot, the IBF title shot with Lindolfo Delgado, is that Duarte and Delgado are stablemates and both trained by Robert Garcia. So yeah, what an excuse. What an excuse, my guys, my people. That said, the IBF have now ordered that Lindolfo fight the number 5 ranked fighter Artur Belicianov for the title, for the vacant IBF, my guys, my people. Belicianov, what is his record, Belicianov? Well, he is 31 years old with a record 21 wins, undefeated, 17 coming via KO. So power, he's got the power there, my guys. Where is he from? He's from, well, his resident is Toronto. So his residence is Toronto, and he's from Russia. He is Russian, my guys, my people. And Delgado, I didn't even give you his record. Let's have a look at him quickly. Delgado is 31 years old, also has a record 24 wins, undefeated, and 16 coming via KO. So power on both sides, good power, especially on Serrano, whatever his name is, especially on his side. So yeah, great fight. I say let's get it, my guys, my people. And as for Duarte, he will be chasing a title opportunity via the WBC instead. That is the plan going forward. So obviously that means that the Dalton Smith fight, which fight fans are looking for over here in the UK, even though I think Adam Azim has time, he has time. Or how old is Adam Azim? Azim, 24 years old still. 24 years old. Clagget though, 36 years old. I know I was saying Adam Azim made easy work of him, but even he is not in his prime. Clagget, for real, he's not in his prime, my guys, my people. But yeah, Adam Azim and Dalton Smith, that is pushed further away now, because the plan obviously is to get Adam Azim a title first. But there are other names that he could face. There are other names. You know, they have to search for it, isn't it? Let them search for it. Now, with that said, the Bethnal Green, Yuko. Yeah, Yuko Bethnal Green. We had Charlie Edward against Sikho Nkothole. Sikho Nkothole. That was where is he from? Nkothole, South African fighter, real good fighter. He looked great on the night. He actually beat Edward. Beat him. Unanimous decision. 12 rounds, unanimous decision. Listen, Charlie Edward, former flyweight champion, former flyweight WBC champion. He is going to be kicking himself, right, that he didn't start early in the fight, you know, because he let Nkothole bank the early rounds. While Edwards came on strong, I would say, in the last 4 rounds. Came on real strong in the last 4 rounds. It's like he finally saw belief, or found belief, and found a way, but it was too late. Too little too late, my guys, my people. But yeah, that is it. Charlie Edwards, the former WBC flyweight champion, who is 33 years old, so very much at his peak, or soon to drop from his peak, which is of course very common for the lower weight classes. And he now stands a record 21 wins, 3 losses, 0 draws, 7 via KO. He himself has been knocked out once before. Nkothole, like I said, very good fighter, very good fighter. Let's take a look at his record quickly. Their box rec. Let's see, my guys, my people. So Nkothole, who is 31 years old, so very much at the peak of his prime as well, or should I say getting there. Sikho Nkothole with her record 21 wins now, 3 losses, 0 draws, 13 via KO, and he's been knocked out once himself. So yeah, that was for the IBF eliminator. That was for the IBF eliminator at super flyweight, my guys, my people. Now with that said, Raymond Ford for Foster's WBC strap at super featherweight. Let's dig out Oshaki Foster's record. What is his record saying? Oshaki Foster, 32 years old, with a record 25 wins, 3 losses, 0 draws, 12 via KO after defeating Raymond Ford, who has a record now 18 wins, 2 losses, 1 draw, 8 via KO. And he is still just 27 years old. All right, so yeah, he lost via majority decision to Foster, and Ford actually picked him to win this fight. I actually picked him to win this fight because I'm more familiar with him, so I'm more familiar with his skill set. I know that he's got the fast feet, he's got fast hands, and he can box. And you know what? He can dug it out as well. He can really dug it out. So that is what I went for. However, he started very bright, and I gave him 3 rounds out of the first 4. But by the 8th round, they were both dead even Stevens to me. Both dead even Stevens. But Oshaki, he took 3 of the last 4 rounds. 3 of the last 4 rounds. I gave the round 10 to Ford. Oshaki started strong in that round, but I think Ford did enough to steal the round. You know, so yeah, he lost. What was the reason why Ford lost? Obviously, because he gassed out. Just like he did in his fight against Nick Bull, where he lost his WBA strap at featherweight, and just like he did against Nova, even though he beat Nova, he almost gassed out. He was gassing out in that fight, and here he goes showcasing, you know, not elite conditioning, because it's not like this fight was fought at a high pace. It wasn't a 100 mile per hour sort of fight. It was more like a chess match, and not even a high paced chess match at that, you know. So yeah, he sort of gassed out. He started slowing down by round 8, and then Oshaki really took over and started showing levels. Not only that he had the better conditioning, but as a boxer, as a fighter, he's at least one level above Ford. At least one level. Ford was moving back in straight lines, or standing directly in front of Foster. He didn't really show much lateral movement. I'm not saying he should run around the ring, but step aside. Let's see some feints and lateral movement. Give some angles, right? So yeah, that's what he needs to work on in his rebuilding phase now. It shouldn't take him too long if he gets it right. Maybe in a year or 2, he should be back right where he is, maybe challenging for another title shot, my guys, my people. He's still young, he can do it. Foster did it, and Foster is what now? What did I say? 32 years old, my guys, my people, and has 3 losses on his record. But Foster, let's look at his record, because he's impressing me. I am impressed. He went up in 2023 against Ray Vargas, who was a former 2 division champion, and he fought him for the vacant WBC. Then he defended against the power puncher Eduardo Hernandez, getting the TKO in the 12th round, in the dying minutes of the 12th round. Look at his resume stacking up already. Then he fought Abraham Nova, where you know, Ford has fought him as well. Who did better? Can't remember. I think Ford did better. Then he fought Robinson Conceição back to back. He lost the first one, losing his WBC strap as well. Then he reclaimed it from Conceição in 2024, 11th, actually 2nd of the 11th, so 2nd of November 2024, my guys, my people. Then he went up and beat Stephen Fulton, right, who is a 2-division champ. 2-division champ, my guys, my people, before defeating Ray Ford, another ex-champion now. So yeah, does his name deserve to be mentioned in the top 10 pound for pound? Does he deserve to be mentioned in that conversation? I say if he beats Emmanuel Navarrete, yep, the WBO champion, that is the fight that seems that should be made next. That unification there. But we know Shaq is chasing big money. He's never tasted big money, a big money fight yet. So he wants Shakur Stevenson. Even though there is, you know, bad blood there, because Shakur Stevenson's connection with Raymond Ford, we know there's definitely bad blood there between Oshaki and Ford, you know. But hopefully that has been buried after this fight. But who knows? Who knows? We'll leave it up to them, right? But look, who else could he be fighting? Lamont Roach, but Lamont Roach is fighting on the 31st of August. He's going up against William Zepeda. William Zepeda. Apparently him and Roach don't like each other either. So there's a lot of fights for him where the build-up could be very, very heated, and we know how fans like to rally around that sort of stuff, my guys, my people. So yeah, man. He's got a lot of fights that he can get himself involved in. But Shakur Stevenson, who he called out after defeating Ford into the ring, Shakur entered the ring. I think not to fight him, because after they had their little rah, and Foster was like, let's shake on it. Shakur refused. He refused. I don't think he wanted to step in the ring in the first place. Actually, I don't think he expected that he would have had to step in the ring. I think he really felt that Raymond Ford, who he sent out there, right, as the underboss before you get to the boss, Shakur, yeah, I think Shakur felt that Ford was going to get the job done, and now he has to jump in the ring and do rah with Shaki, who Shakur, you can tell from Shakur's body language that he feels that Shakur, that you can tell from Shakur's body language that he feels Oshaki is not on his level. You know, he feels he's not on his level. But there you go. Those are the fights that could be available for Oshaki. He's not going to get the Shakur fight. Tank Davis, somebody mentioned. Will he get that fight? But how about Kishore? That's a good fight. That is a good fight, my guys, my people. With that said, he might have to move up a division or two in order to land these fights, though. But he's willing to. With Shakur, anyway, he is willing to, my guys, my people. But yeah, right, I think that's it. And oh yeah, Richardson Hitchins, he is back July the 26th in New York. His inaugural fight for Zuffa. His inaugural fight for Zuffa. So it's great to see him back and taking Zuffa out of the apex, which Eddie Hearn and the others term as the sweatbox, my guys, in their war of words with Dana White. So he's at Zuffa now. He chose the money over the belts. Chose the money over his IBF junior welterweight belt, my guys, my people. That tells you everything you need to know. Now, with that said, that's all I have for you on this one. Before you leave, do like, do share, subscribe. Of course, drop your comments below, my guys, my people, and let's catch up on the next one. Stay blessed. Do subscribe. We need all the subscription in the world, my guys, my people.